Previous races we all had different boat designs, and the designs were suited to different conditions. I think this time round what we're seeing is the emphasis on learning. Now I think it's all about who can learn the most, because we're sailing the boat completely differently to we did at the start of the race, because you learn so much more when you're up against other boats as opposed to training on your own. And I think that the team that learns the most between Alicante and Gothenburg is probably going to be a team that will prevail. The level of teams we've got, with everybody in the same boats, I think everybody could have expected different leg winners. If anything, I've maybe been a bit surprised that there's as big a spread of points overall as there is already. With sort of Dongfeng and ourselves now, a few points clear of everybody else, I kind of expected all the way through 4 or 5 boats, right, nip and tuck, and I guess Vestas dropping out of the race has had an effect on that. Matt Frey's poor start has had an effect on that. Obviously now they're coming good, and that's maybe the reason why. I think everybody is sailing faster now, and we can see it in our performance numbers. We're sailing a lot faster than we were at the start of the race, and we're seeing Matt Frey much more competitive, Alva Medica getting much more competitive. SCA, the delta between first and last in any of the legs is getting shorter and shorter. Dongfeng and Brunel did a lot of sailing next to each other on leg 2, and I think they both raised their performance by doing that. And I think we made a mistake on leg 2, getting too far separated from the fleet. I think it would have been better just to sail near everybody to learn more for the good of a performance in the rest of the race. So it does make a big difference, and you certainly feel a bit sort of lost when you're outside of AIS range. You could be doing something wrong and not know it, whereas when you're within IS range with other boats, the moment you start to go slower than somebody else, you can see it, and then you can react to it, change what you're doing, and get back on the pace. I think that's one of the things that puts a lot of pressure on us when we're sailing, is you don't know which is the key bit. You have to assume it's all the key bit. You don't know which part of the race is going to be the bit that makes or breaks that leg. Well, a lot of the team was sick in China, probably 70% of the team. And 2 of the race crew had been sick prior to the import race. Adel went down the day of the import race and ended up very ill the night before the start. He phoned me first thing in the morning of the race start and said that he was in a terrible state and had to see a doctor. So we made a last-minute decision to take Adel off the boat for the leg, because it was going to be pretty horrific the first few days in terms of weather, and he was in no state to go to sea. For sure we'd prefer to have had our A team on board, but that's the way this is. You're not going to go the whole way around the world without people getting ill or injured at some point in time. We need to make sure we have the best 8 guys on board the boat as the sailing team. Well, the import racing could be a design. We've known that all along, and all along we've said that we're going to take it very seriously. At the moment, that attitude, that approach of taking it seriously has put us in a good position, because we've got a nice lead in the import series. And as you say, that could win us the race. So why wouldn't you take it seriously? Biggest highs on the race thus far is probably the arrival in Cape Town, winning that leg, and everything that meant to the team, both ashore and afloat. Lows on the race, I think letting our lead slip on leg 2 into Abu Dhabi, and in fact not winning the import race in Abu Dhabi after making such a good start. We made a great start, disappointing not to win that race. And the arrival in Auckland was pretty special too. Such a tight finish, and managing to pit Dongfeng after such a tight battle. And as the close finish here in Auckland, just 4 minutes between boats, in the top 3 just shows how tight it is. So I think as the race goes on, it will get tighter and tighter. The legs are going to be getting shorter and shorter towards the end of the race, and I think that will mean that boat-on-boat tactics will become more and more important.